Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be making a Mexican casserole. It was simply inspired out of simplicity and not wanting waste in our fridge. So I am obsessed with salsa. I use it on my eggs. I have like the inside of a quesadilla. I eat pork rinds with it. I love salsa. So I end up with a bunch of jars in multiple places. So we're gonna get started right into this, and I already grabbed all of my ingredients, but the first things first, we're gonna brown some ground beef. That was weird to say. To get started, you also want to preheat your oven to 350, and you're going to multitask while the ground beef cooks. So while this ground beef is cooking, we're going to soften the cream cheese in the oven, and we're going to chop the olives. So let me show you how I do that. It's already at 350. Hit start. It's at 100. And then over here, we're going to put lamp. We don't use an oven. We use a mini convection oven. We're going to go to 350 because it works better. We're going to hit the timer. Move it down, if the button will work, to 15 minutes. And I have it on bake. So there you go. I'm gonna soften that up. And then I have my little cutting board. I'm gonna go over here, and I have my olive can. So first things first, you wanna protect yourself when cooking with any kind of skilletware, and you're gonna put your little protective heat pads onto it. And then you're going to just kind of separate the meat. The thing with this is you want it to be able to cook relatively evenly. And it depends on how large of chunks or how small of chunks you want your food to be. And it gets easier to break through as it's cooked because it doesn't stick to itself as much. But to kind of get a little bit of a base, this is a good way to start. Now, I personally like to let it brown at least halfway through before I try to flip it, and I tend to also add the spices kind of as I go. So right now, while it's really raw and still cooking and getting all those juices going, I really want the flavors to meld inside of it. So this is when I'm going to add my basic salt and pepper. The rest of the spices are going to be added later when the sauce is added. You can see it kind of to the left in those little containers, but the salt and pepper I like to add now, and I pretty much put garlic salt on just about everything. So in just a moment you're going to see these cute little glassware that I use, and that's what I decided to put in all my videos. And I kind of just sprinkle it on. You don't have to be fancy and get extra glasses. That's just because I run a YouTube channel and I wanted it to look nice versus like just coming in like the plasticware. I don't measure it. I kind of just get a really thin layer on top. And then as you see, I kind of just mixed up a little bit. And I'm going to put it to the side while we focus on cutting olives. The main part of being a good cook is that you want to be able to multitask while other things are cooking. And that doesn't necessarily always mean just mess around on Instagram or on your phone. So because I staged everything earlier, that's going to make this next step so much easier. We're just going to grab the olives and get going. You just want to take a sharp knife, move the olives out of the way. One at a time, you're just going to slice these suckers. Unless you buy the pre-sliced ones, we just buy ours in bulk from Costco. So we always have them. They're a great snack, especially if you're on the keto diet or any kind of low-carb diet. There's kind of a nice, tasty treat to have. I've always been obsessed with olives ever since I was a little girl. My grandmother, my mom, my aunts, I'm pretty sure I like greeted everybody with the olive fingers at like every single event there ever was. So yeah, that was definitely a thing. You know what I'm talking about, the olive fingers? Like, yes. I don't know, like, I have this thing about textures, and it was just like the best thing ever to have that like weird olive thing on your finger and be able to eat your finger. Like, I don't know, maybe I was just a strange child. I'm a strange adult, so I guess that would make sense. So just keep on cutting them, and multitasking, kind of go about your business. So it's browned on one side now, which is good. You can kind of flip it, like if you wanted to flip like a pancake or something like that. For me, the beef always tends to like fall apart, so I kind of just like mix it around. But I don't want it to be sludge either, so just kind of make it work wherever you see fit. Now at this point, I'm going to make a little well, or a little area in the middle, and I'm going to add in some garlic. I don't want it to burn, I just want it to add some flavor. So I'm going to let that grease be underneath of it and cook it. I keep standing on my tippy toes to check my camera to make sure it's in view because I don't have one of those little screen things, so that's kind of weird. And then I'm going to add in some paprika and some cilantro because I bought several of them because I was crazy and thought we were running out. So I'm using some of that up. Just gonna let that cook a bit. You can kind of see that the spices are mixing with the garlic's mixing with the fat of the beef. That's exactly what you want. Wait, which is my least favorite part of cooking. So usually I clean up and do other things. So I'm gonna put away the olives. Okay. Salsa jars that we get from a local farmer's market called Quality Fruit, if you're over in the Bliss, Texas area. And I just take off the label and it's perfect. It actually seals for our olives, and then we put it on the door. Isn't that just like so cute? Is it like a Tupperware that you're like digging through or something, like plastic lid? I love it. You can see that the garlic is pretty much all the way cooked through. So we're just gonna mix it into the beef. If you don't cook it all the way, you'll get like weird garlic clumps in your meal that is almost sweet instead of that nice cooked garlic flavor. I don't know why that is. I'm sure it's sometimes chemical reaction I'm unaware of, but it does not taste the same. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. And obviously we still have a lot of red meat left, so we're just gonna make sure it's all cooking and good. Now that the meat is browned, we're gonna leave the grease in there. I know growing up as a kid, my mother, my grandmother, my father, everybody would drain the grease because I thought it was bad for you. As an adult now, when I try to give them health advice, they just leave me like I'm insane. I leave the grease in there. It's better for it's good flavor, it's excellent flavor, and it also is something you should have in your diet. I know, contrary to popular belief, that is really difficult for us to absorb, but I swear to you, it works. So we're going to take all that extra salsa that I was talking about, and we're going to add it. You take all that extra salsa and you add it in to your pan. And I like to cook in a very small space, so I have the trash can right underneath me, I have the sink right next to me, and that way I can just put the dirty dish immediately into the sink. As you can tell, it already dropped the temperature so much that it stopped sizzling. And you're just going to stir that in. This is why this is really easy, and I almost have like nothing to do. So I started prepping my other meal that I'm going to cook, which is a gumbo recipe. I'm going to take those tomatoes, the rotels, and the diced tomatoes, and a little bit of green chilies, because I love me some green chilies. Actually, I could just do the green chilies and not even do the tomatoes, but I needed some of that sauce to cook in. And we're just going to heat this for a couple of minutes before adding it into the casserole dish. Your pan that you're going to be cooking your meal in, I grabbed my stone one, which I have talked about in the past, and then we're going to grease it real quick. We're actually going to be greasing this with some bacon lard, so James just made some bacon today, so it's actually not hard to get, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because then I can spill it. And then you're going to take whatever utensil you have, just spread it around the bottom. You want to make sure that it's nice and coated so nothing burns, because you don't want to be digging that off and dealing with that dirty dish later. You're already cooking, and that's probably more effort than you want to put into your life anyways. And then, take your pork rinds. Oh, here comes Floof! And you're going to crumple them up. So I just buy the really cheap ones. And I feel like I'm doing an ASMR video every time I do this. Hello, Floof. Are you being cuddled against your will?
I think this looks extremely against his will.
Look at him, he's like, I just lay here. Is he done? He like only wants cuddles when he wants cuddles. Typical cat. So I have about, I don't know, like half of the bag of these. The fresher they are, the easier they crunch. However, if they are stale, they work just as good. Even with like a chip clip and stuff, it doesn't always do what you want it to, I guess. It wasn't very glamorous, but there's not a really good way to do that. Now that we have that pan ready, we're going to just scoop the beef mixture on top of it. Ideally, more of the juice would like have evaporated off, but I am not patient enough to wait, and that's just the reality of my life. Oh, no, don't need to see the camera. So, we're just gonna transfer it over. Now, if I had James home, I would ask him to hold the pan, and then I would like drop it over, but holding this huge skillet, I am literally not capable. I'm not strong enough. James thinks it's like the weirdest thing. So, I'm gonna try it, and hopefully I won't hurt myself. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh god. Okay, I can do this. I'm trying to do it so the camera can see. Woo! off. Nothing was burned or splashed, no clothes were ruined. I think that's great success. Success in my kitchen. So, push that over here. Do one of these. So we're in a good place. Okay. Now, take your sour cream. You're gonna dish it over the top of this as gracefully as you possibly can, or just plop it on there and spread it out, whatever you want. I make YouTube videos, so I try to make it look somewhat appealing, but it doesn't always happen. And apparently, I don't have enough sour cream to coat this entire thing, so I'm using leftovers. So we're just gonna have a real thin layer, but don't worry. The cream cheese will come in clutch at this moment. So just spread it around. Now my mini convection oven is done, so I'm just gonna open that up. Get my handy dandy glove. Now that it's softened, it will be searable. So do that. And now we smear along the cream cheese. Oh yeah, oh baby. I like to dance in the kitchen and stuff. Normally I'm like watching a movie or something because I get really bored. Like I cannot just cook one thing at a time. I get so bored. It is not fun. So I cook multiple things at once. So that way when like one thing's like waiting to brown, I can just cook the other things. So it's just how I live my best life. Alright, so we got that. Now we're going to add the cheese. Yeah. Can you tell I like me some dairy? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's the best thing ever. Try not to let it clump. I mean, really, it's gonna melt, so it's like not that big of a deal, but you know, do your thing. So just kind of do that. Make sure you coat it all. Use as much or as little as you want. We love cheese in this house, so there will probably be more added to this at a later date. Ooh, almost made a mess. Off with the olives that I cut earlier. So you just take the olives and you sprinkle it on top. Yes, that random piece of cheese was added because I could not find my cheese grater. So I wanted that spot covered, and so I just put a whole slice on there. It's all gonna taste the same. It's just not gonna look as cute. And then we're gonna toss this sucker in the oven. So I'm gonna grab my mitts, put it in this super filthy oven. Sometimes I really think I should do this like close so I don't ruin my nice thing, but I want to feel cute, so. This point, the most important point, is to set the timer on the oven so you don't burn your dinner. Just saying, I've burned a lot of stuff. So we're gonna set it for 30 minutes, but you want it to be like hot and bubbly, so if it's not done in 30 minutes, everybody's oven's a little different, so we'll do that. So we're going to check the timer. Man, this take forever. Boom. This is gonna be one of the most honest videos I've ever done because I don't actually cook one meal at a time, so I'm actually gonna start cleaning up all of this and setting up for the next meal that I'm going to cook, which is gonna be a gumbo recipe. I don't know, based on length, if this is gonna be 1 or 2 videos. I might have already done a gumbo video, I don't remember, but we're gonna try it out. So I'm gonna do some dishes now.